morning to you guys here. Happy Monday, April 21st, 2025. Hope you guys are all doing well out there this morning. Hope you guys all had a wonderful, wonderful Easter as well. We had to cover some severe weather yesterday and the day before. Yesterday did not unfold the way it could have unfolded in terms of tornado outbreak potential. We had a couple tornadoes that did end up getting confirmed, a couple large tornadoes, a couple small tornadoes. As we get those damage reports in, I will continue to update you guys on those ratings once they come in from the National Weather Service. We'll start out today here with our forecast map and what's going on across the United States here. We've got a big upper level trough up here in Canada that is bringing severe weather this afternoon across portions of the Ohio Valley, the Northeast, and all the way down here into the Southeast. Now, this is a level 1 risk out of 5. We're not expecting a severe weather outbreak or any of that. We're not going to probably have to get on and cover anything today, but there is a low end 2% tornado risk up here into portions of eastern Ohio, northern West Virginia, western Pennsylvania, and western New York. And then down here into the Southeast, we've got a level 1 marginal risk as well for wind and hail. So there will be a threat for some low end severe weather out there today. Don't get caught off guard. Have a way to get alerts on your phones as always. We're going to do a live stream later on this afternoon, just talk and hang out and clarify and maybe teach some model runs and radar analysis and all that stuff for you guys. I mentioned that yesterday in the live stream. For anybody that wanted to do that, we'll probably do a live stream later on this afternoon, kind of talking about that and kind of get y'all's knowledge up there just a little bit more in terms of how to look at weather and stuff like that. So, like I said, yesterday, a little bit of a busy day. Multiple tornado warnings across the Ohio Valley and into portions of the Midwest yesterday. Could have been, like I said, worse than what was forecasted, but gladly some of the environmental ingredients that we needed to have yesterday happen did not unfold, so that's a good thing. So we'll continue to watch this trough move through. Cold front should be sweeping through later on this afternoon, this evening. This should be off the coast by later on tomorrow morning, and we'll be looking at our next system setting up for tomorrow, where we'll have the threat for severe weather. So we'll go ahead and dive into that. We're really going to be talking once again, guys, this week about severe weather. Severe weather is going to be the biggest thing over the next couple of weeks here, as we are once again in that peak tornado season. So we'll be taking a switch, going over to some areas that haven't seen a lot of severe weather this year, and we'll go ahead and dive into that now. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and start out by talking about what we're going to be seeing for today and for tomorrow here. We'll go to the Storm Prediction Center's website here, and we'll look at our risk zone for today. Like I mentioned earlier, marginal risk for severe weather today back into eastern Ohio and then up into northwestern West Virginia, and then Pennsylvania and western New York, seeing the threat for a low and isolated tornado risk, not zero, so do be aware that there could be an isolated tornado spin up today, and then wind and hail up there as well. And then we've got a wind and a hail threat back down here in that other marginal risk zone from southern Tennessee into portions of northwestern Georgia, northern and central Alabama and Mississippi, and northeastern portions of Louisiana. General thunderstorm risk outside of that there. This is going to be our next system that's going to be coming in, giving us more than likely a severe weather threat up in the Midwest tomorrow, as well as a new system that's going to be coming in back down here into the central and southern plains. We're really going to be talking more about the central and southern plains over the next little bit as well. That's just going to be where our troughing is going to be more favorable at as we go towards May. There is a 2% tornado risk again for eastern Ohio, western West Pennsylvania there in northwestern New York. 5% wind in both areas and 5% hail. We'll get to the timing on that here again in just a second once we run over our models. Tomorrow we get a little bit more of a bigger day for severe weather. I actually think tomorrow could get an enhanced risk for either hail or for wind if things do continue to trend up for this. We're going to have a new trough that's going to be moving in, a little shortwave trough, going to give us the threat for some damaging winds, some large hail, maybe a brief tornado. Tomorrow doesn't look to be overall a big tornado day. I will mention as well, though, marginal risk up here into portions of southern Wisconsin, northwestern Illinois, Iowa, and northern Missouri. This will be a wind and a hail threat, and then another little marginal risk zone back over here across North Carolina and South Carolina for another wind and hail threat. This is going to be our main event that we cover, though, but I want you guys to understand we are going to have an active pattern. We're not going to have just one major trough that's going to come through. We're going to have these little bulges in our jet stream where we're going to see scattered severe weather episodes in different areas. So it's not just going to be one major area. There will be scattered areas across the United States that see that severe weather, and that's going to be due to different environmental features, instability, wind shear aloft. It's just going to be an active season in terms of going into the rest of this month in May. So just be mindful. Make sure you guys are checking in with videos here. I'll be continuing to release forecast videos out every single day. Tornado risk for tomorrow is a 2%. We've got eastern New Mexico here, as well as northwestern and southwestern Texas. I expect that probably will get an elevated risk zone at some point with things trending up just a little bit. We've also got a damaging wind threat, 5% along North Carolina and South Carolina, and a 15 and a 5% here in Texas. And then the hail threat as well for all areas, 15 and 5 for Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and a 5% up in the North Midwest and into the Carolinas there. So that's going to be for tomorrow. Like I said, the potential maybe for a upgraded risk zone, maybe in Kansas and Oklahoma and Texas could be on the table for tomorrow. We'll wait and see what SPC does on that later on this afternoon. And then we get to tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but for day 3, that's going to be on a Wednesday here. We've got another risk for severe weather, guys, and I mentioned this as well. It's going to be the plains. It's going to be the southern plains, the central plains, and the northern plains. It's where things are going to be active at. We're really starting to see these little shortwave troughs exit off the Rockies. This is starting to set up a very, very interesting pattern that we typically see going into May. We see these storms right off the Rockies. They give us severe weather threats. They multiply typically into multiple troughing. It's just going to be a very active pattern is basically what I'm getting at. So southern portions of Nebraska, they're getting into eastern Colorado. I think this is our first risk zone for eastern Colorado this year as well. Getting up into portions of western Kansas, western Oklahoma, and northern and central Texas. They're seeing the threat for severe weather. Wouldn't be shocked to see a slight risk also be issued. I think we're honestly, when it comes down to it at the end of the day, we're probably going to have a slight risk almost every single day starting tomorrow. So just going to be that active of a pattern. The Storm Prediction Center also not mentioning a day 4 through 8 yet, but they are talking about widespread severe weather potential going through the week here. Mainly the areas that I'm concerned about for severe weather this week, really going to be this area right here. We'll have to watch out really more for the central and southern plains, but I think Texas, Oklahoma will be the main areas. Kansas is involved as well, up towards Colorado and Nebraska, and then there'll be conditional areas of risk zones out east towards the lower Ohio Valley, the Ozarks, the Argentine, the Southeast, etc., all of that. So that's what we'll have for you guys. Let's talk about models today. This is going to be a brief overrun of today. Like I said, showers and storms are going to be moving through portions of Pennsylvania and eastern Ohio later on this evening. Like I said, if any storms can become surface-based, we could have a small tornado risk threat up here in portions of the northern Ohio Valley. That's going to be pretty much done and over with by this evening, and then the showers and storms will fizzle out, and we'll pretty much be done with storms for today. Back down here into the southeast as well, we've got the threat for severe weather ongoing as well down here. It could be a couple of showers and storms erupting here with some wind and some hail possible. Really doesn't look to be anything too crazy, and then we'll continue to see general thunderstorms along this boundary that'll be in place for tomorrow and into Wednesday. Like I said, general thunderstorms going to be a common theme for a lot of people as these little shortwave troughs are going to be in place. Now, I do want to mention as well, we can start to see what tomorrow is going to look like in terms of the severe weather potential here. And I want to talk about a couple of things with this since we're here on YouTube. This is a little bit of a longer video, so I can kind of break things down a little bit more for you guys. But we're going to see showers and storms develop along a dry line. We're going to have a pretty sharp dry line that's going to be in place somewhere in this area tomorrow from Kansas down into West Texas here, giving us the threat for some large hail, some damaging winds, maybe a brief small tornado, a couple of stronger cells there in West Central Texas. But as the sun goes down, we're going to start to see this line of storms try to develop here. Model's not doing too great of a job, but it looks to be we could see a small MCS maybe develop with this storm system tomorrow. Like I said, there will be a capping inversion in place. There's just a lot of things that we have to look at here. The instability will definitely be there. We'll have lots of instability in place for tomorrow, anywhere from 2,000 to 3,500 cape. So instability will definitely not be an issue tomorrow in terms of the severe weather potential. And you guys can see going even into Wednesday, we'll have severe weather potential as well ongoing there. If we take a look at our dew points as well, dew points will be pretty solid in terms of that. We're going to have to once again wait and see if the capping inversion is going to break or not. I think it will once the dry line sets up and the sun sets. But you can see dew points are going to be pretty decent as well, 50s to 60s there, upper 50s to low middle 60s. And then continuing to see that moisture be pulled in as far as Wednesday setup, and we'll get into Wednesday setup once we get in range for Wednesday. But dew points across the southeast, I just want to mention as well, it's going to be a very humid and hot and gross week here across the southeast, the southern plains, the central plains, so get ready for that. Another thing that we're going to look at here really quickly, we'll just take a look at those tornado parameters and see what we're looking at for tomorrow as well. Low end tornado potential, like I said, not a lot popping up there. Some scattered storms could be potentially tornadic, but tomorrow looks to be more of a wind and a hail threat overall. Let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to be seeing in general here for the future. So like I said, I mentioned you guys, it's going to be active. We're going to have a lot going on here. You can see this is the troughing that's moving through currently right now. This is what brought that severe weather yesterday and the day before, moving in here, bringing us a little bit of shear in place for the Ohio Valley to see some low and severe weather today. You can see that cold front extending down to the south, but I want you guys to watch this. That's going to clear out, and we're going to see a little bit of a zonal flow that's going to set up here across the upper Midwest. This is what's going to set up an elevated hail risk for tomorrow. I wouldn't be shocked to see the Storm Prediction Center upgrade tomorrow to a small 15% hail risk up into portions of Iowa, southern Wisconsin, and far extreme southeast portions of Minnesota there. But I want you guys to see going into tomorrow, you're like, all right, where's the troughing at? Where's the jet stream? There is a little disturbance tomorrow evening that is going to set up down here into portions of Texas and Oklahoma, and you can see a little bit of a jet stream here, about 20 to 30 knots of low-level jet to mid-level jet there. Going to be just enough for the threat for wind and hail. Not a big outbreak or anything, not an outbreak at all, just going to be a day for wind and hail. Instability will be there, dew points will be there, all of that. It's going to be this day-to-day like conditional risk zone for wind and hail, and we really don't see anything big materializing. You guys can see just active zonal flow across majority of the United States. Really anywhere across this region we could see low and severe weather risk zones each day, and I wanted to make that known, that way people aren't getting caught off guard wondering what's happening, why they're getting severe weather. So that's why. But I want you guys to see something. As we get towards the weekend, things start to get a little bit more interesting. We're actually going to have a major trough that's going to come out of the United States here off the west coast, and it's going to basically bring in a subtropical jet stream. We're going to have some very decent southwesterly flow. I wouldn't be shocked to see a big major risk zone in place for Friday or for Saturday from basically North Dakota down. We're just going to have a lot of southwesterly flow, and what that does is it brings in moisture transport and instability, and it's going to allow for the threat for severe weather. So is this going to be some severe weather outbreak? We don't know yet. But in terms of seeing a setup for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, once again for the weekend, there definitely will be a lot of areas that we're going to have to watch here for this threat for severe weather. I wouldn't be shocked to see a significant severe weather event this coming up weekend, but we're going to just have to watch the models and see what they trend, because the European's a little bit different than what the GFS is showing. There's always going to be that difference. We never can get that full on agreement. But I will mention, going into late next week, going into the 20th, 26th and beyond, this is a little bit, past that 7-day range. Looks to be this low pressure system really tries to intensify, and we might actually get a severe weather event out of this, and then another one coming in behind it. So what I'm getting at, guys, once again, is we're going to continue to keep you guys updated. Lots of rounds of severe weather are going to be in place really through this month, the end of this month into May. You just look at the pattern here, the jet stream coming in. I mean, we could be looking at potentially even some full-blown severe weather outbreaks going into the first and second week of May. So just a lot to get ready for. It's going to be busy. We're going to be live streaming every single day. I will mention as well, we will be live streaming on YouTube and on TikTok every single evening going forward for weather updates. So make sure y'all tune into that. I'm going to probably leave those at 9 p.m. Central Time. It'll kind of be a little bit sporadic in terms of that, but we will keep you guys updated on that. Other than that, guys, be safe here. Be weather aware. I will keep you guys updated in tomorrow's video on the risk zone for tomorrow as well. But other than that, guys, be safe, be weather aware, and we'll see you guys in the next one.